So here we go. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. What does it say? Live. Yes. CPU 12.7 green. Looks like we're good. Up and running. Wood shavings left over from yesterday, whatever, where I left them. Where are we? It was a pretty good day's work yesterday. I got a bunch of stuff done, actually. Maybe a good balance between watching the chat and actually doing something. So today, clearly, we're going to finish this group today. And what's next? I've got to, before I forget, I've got to cut out the foam in these areas here. I might forget that if I'm not careful. And then I've got to get over here and carve the Namiura Katsuchika Hokusai. It won't all happen today, of course. Then get some noisy clearing done. Anyway, for today, right now, the job in front of me is clearly finish this section. It was an insane day yesterday. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too many parties, but the visitors, my God, the visitors. There's something, people come in the door and something happens to them. They get crazy. They just don't behave like they do in a normal shop, you know. It's just crazy. People come here and then whatever. Good morning, gang. Good morning. How was our golden week? We survived. We're here. We survived. I know the print bins are hugely emptied. We had some wonderful time with some fabulous guests. A bunch of people had a ton of fun here. I got just a few minutes ago. I don't know if I should share this. It sounds pretentious, whatever. I know we don't get too much feedback. I know TripAdvisor. We're on TripAdvisor, but we don't actually get too much feedback on TripAdvisor. I know the woman down the street with her cooking class. What she does is after every class is over, she sends the people's emails to TripAdvisor. I won't do this. She sends their emails to TripAdvisor, and a few days later, they send the customer, how was your experience over at the cooking class? And of course, a bunch of them throw it away and a bunch of them right back. So out of every day's views, she gets 1 or 2 or 3 people, posting on TripAdvisor. So she has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of good reviews on TripAdvisor. Now, we don't share the emails like that, so we don't get that. So we don't get too much online feedback. But recently, Square, the company we use for processing our credit card stuff, they've started a new policy. They know the people's emails. We haven't given it to them, but they know through their own database information. And when they see a credit card processing from Mr. A at this shop, they know who Mr. A is, of course, because they're his credit card processor. And they've started sending emails to the people saying, how was your experience at the place you just used your credit card? I guess maybe they're going to start to sneak into the travel business or something. We don't know what their motivation is. It's nothing to do with us. What happens is then, every now and then, instead of throwing it away, some of those people do. They write back, okay, Square, I'll tell you about the experience I had at that shop. We got one right now. This is from yesterday. I can't quote this. I don't know who it is. It's anonymized from my point of view. So all I know is that it's somebody over the past few days who was here who used their credit card through our cash register. And their quote is, fabulous place. Fabulous owner who is infectiously passionate about his craft. Fabulous staff and fabulous prints. And this goes into our reviews on Square. But that's kind of what it was like this week. It was just kind of like that. It was really a ton of fun. We're kind of exhausted. I'm tired now, and okay, I'd better do some work here. What's going to happen today? It's Monday today. We've got a couple of reservations. We have a 10 o'clock reservation, so I will have to get out to help that. And okay, as I said, I better get back to work. I have a ton of things to do today. Where should we start? check and see what's happening here, I guess. It seems quiet. Good. I should mention something about that, all right? The ancient Japanese proverb, quote unquote, you are quoting there. I know. It's a joke, right? I get it. But there's something about Japanese society that's changed in the past few years that perhaps should be aware of. I know. The word tsunami, tidal wave, whatever, it's just a word. But it's no longer just a word, actually. The word tsunami, you know what it means. It's the wave, the tidal wave. It used to be used in a couple of ways. It used to be used to describe the waves itself, and it used to be used to describe when we have a lot of something. We would do this in English too. We had just a tidal wave of customers or something. We had a tsunami of customers last week. That's not cool anymore in Japan. I mean whatever, Japanese in general now no longer use the word in that way. You can't use the word tsunami now in general conversation. You can only use it to describe the actual event itself. It can't be used in casual or joking conversation at all. You know why? I mean, just too many people died and too many children got washed away. It's been in the news again this past couple of weeks. There's lawsuits and stuff have been reverberating around after the huge earthquake and tsunami back in 2011. And one recent one that was just completed, the lawsuit, was to do with some parents, whatever, who had sued one of the governments and or schools up there because a bunch of terrified teachers didn't know what to do and lost, a few dozen kids. They were trying to get to higher ground, didn't make it, got washed away. Whatever, the point being, we don't joke about tsunamis here in Japan these days. I know, not to be heavy with you here, just so you know. I used to use the word myself, as I said, we had a tsunami of customers when I was speaking Japanese. And you'd see the cold faces and you realize that the word is just not used that way anymore. There's too many vivid memories of kids dying. There were thousands of people. I don't know the number. Thousands of people. So just so you know, we have to be careful how you use that word these days. That's all. The other interesting thing about that experience, the tsunami and stuff we had back then, before that event happened, if you had asked, whatever, I think most of us, if we had thought about what the word tsunami means, it was an image of something like this great wave, this gigantic tidal wave, many meters high, roaring across the surface of the ocean and crashing against the shore, I think that's probably what most of us, certainly that's the image I had of what a tsunami meant. And as we've seen now from the video of that last event here in Japan, it doesn't quite happen like that, or at least it may happen like that, but it doesn't need to happen like that. It can be a much more slowly moving event where the sea just comes up and gradually comes up and gradually comes up, sort of doesn't keep stopping, So rather than the huge crashing wave like we see in this picture, it was just a sea rising against the shore. So those words change, né? Interesting comparison to the word Holocaust, né? Absolutely. Takes on new definitions, new meanings, new nuances. This is another word that's happened, the same thing has happened, at least here in Japan, the same thing has happened. I don't know if this will be a permanent change in the meaning of the word or not. Can't see where we are here. What has she done with the drawing? This wood is so dark, it's hard to see the lines against it. I mentioned before, this is a previously used piece of wood. So it has a sort of an aged, dark surface. It's difficult to see my drawing lines on here. There was an auction on Yahoo Auctions here in Japan last night. The biggest auction site in Japan is Yahoo. Westerners can't believe that, but here in Japan it is. There was an auction last night. I had a keyword buzzed a few days ago. There were some hangi, some old used wood blocks, were up on an auction, and they looked really good. They looked, when I say really good, what I mean, I want to use them for a resource for wood. And if an old wood block comes up that has value, we can't destroy it, can't replane it and use the wood. So what I'm looking for is wood blocks that come up that look like nice, well-aged pieces of wood, and yet which are junk. They're not something that would be usable or interesting or would that have archive value. When an old wood block for an old Utamoto print comes up, you don't plane it off and use the wood, of course. It has antique value. So I'm looking always. And last night, a few days ago, the one came up in the auction was last night for 13 wood blocks. And they were for old fan prints, and they were cracked and split and half beaten up and bashed. And they were not for anything that had been interesting artistically. They had just been for some advertising fan prints for some summer festival. Really not anything that needed to be archived, and I was hoping I could use them to get some good pieces of wood out of it. And the auction was set for like 10:30, and unfortunately I didn't get the auction. I fell asleep. So I was sitting on the tatami mats in the party room, doing a bit of email and stuff about 10 o'clock, waiting for the auction. and just sitting there relaxing a bit. The next thing I know, I wake up and it's like 2:30 in the morning and I'm cramped and I'm sitting on the floors, leaning over half with the computer in my lap. The auction is long gone. That's how our Golden Week ended, you know, Dave nodding off on the floor. Somebody else scored it, so well, it can't be helped. Win some, lose some. There will be lots more chances. My fan's starting to roll a bit, but I don't see any problem here yet. Shoo, 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 shoo. Not sure what the noises are outside. It sounds sort of like a light construction crew. I'm not sure. Might be getting a scaffolding ready on one of the buildings. I don't know. I don't recognize the sounds. It's not a garbage pickup this morning. Garbage is tomorrow. Someone's parked something with a motor running right outside where our window is. There he goes. Shut it off. The other day we mentioned, there's various small level construction going on here and there coming up for the festival. The massive Sanja Matsuri festival is happening here 18th, 19th, 20th. The lanterns are now up, hung above the street. And I saw a crew when I was out there for a walk this morning for a few minutes, just before 7 o'clock. There was already a crew trying to get ahead of the day's busy activity. They had a cherry picker in the middle of the street. And they were lifting up a couple of the cables. I guess there was some new wires that must have been strung during the year. And in advance of the festival, the festival carts come through, and they need a certain level of clearance. And during the middle of the festival, if they hit a wire or something, it would be a real disaster. So there's really careful checks of all this. The clearance is overhead, the wires, make sure no tree branches have grown in the intervening year. People ride on top of these carts, and you can imagine some guy hitting an electrical wire, Because once the festival itself gets underway, there's no room to worry about that kind of stuff, What is it say? It sounds like another cherry picker. And he keeps starting his motor to get the hydraulics to pump him up and lift it up. Might be part of the same thing. They're going around all the back streets, checking every wire, trimming back tree branches. I think we are now almost at the end of carving the waves, I think, if I'm not mistaken. This is our last little bit of water here. Unless I've missed something. Let's see. Just a minute, let me cut this and let's have a look. It seems the stream, I looked through it yesterday at lunchtime. I was looking through yesterday's chat part there. And has this thing been dubbed the microwave? Is that the name of this thing? Come to Mokuhankan, do a print party with our microwave. Not the great wave, it's the microwave, I guess. Is that the name for this? very crispy wood. You have to be very careful. You need to break some of it just at this point. Grain direction, it's back and forth on the same piece of wood, you know. Okay, let's not muck with this too much. Let's have a look what we... Let's zoom out a bit. Okay, there we are, I think. The wave part's all done. The men are cut, the mountain is cut, the boats, the waves down here, the curlicues up here. So, what's left now is, as I said, I've got to cut out the foam areas here, and then I've got to cut the calligraphy. Hey, don't forget the foam flex. Hi, and the inner curl. You're talking about right here, right? Yeah, I know. Hi. Okay, should I cut it now so you can sleep? I won't be forgetting. Relax. You know, this is just slowly, step by step stuff. Yeah, wiggle a bit, and it's not supposed to be smooth, delicate carving, so wiggle the knife. There we go. Okay, now something else this morning, what I thought I might do, is I spent most of yesterday evening after the shop closed, before I fell asleep on the floor there, I spent most of yesterday evening working on the content for the next video. I don't say script, I don't have a script for it yet, but working on the content, what I want to show, what I want to talk about, trying to get my talking points in order. And I thought it might be fun just to spend a couple of minutes during this stream to show you something about what the next video is going to be like. There's no reason to keep it secret and stuff. I've got the content here, so let me just show you a little. This will be a mini preview of the upcoming David's Choice number 6 video. Ebony, can't carve ebony, way too hard. There are harder woods than cherry. You know, ebony, grenadilla, lots of tropical woods. There are lots, even in Japan, there's harder woods than cherry. If it's too hard, it's no good for us. If it's too hard, the water beads on the surface. We need water to sink into the wood and pull back with the pigment when the bearing pressure comes onto it. 836, Who's this? Is it Suga-san? I pulled her paper out, so Suga-san's coming today. Maybe that's her. Footsteps. Oh, it's Cameron, of course. Soka. It's morning. Yeah, Monday. Yeah. I was thinking, who could this be? I'm thinking of the possible people. It could be Doi-san, not yet. Could be Suga-san, maybe. You didn't even enter in the equation. You know, so I've forgotten about you. So. Soka.
Forgotten stepchild or something. No.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Grab in. If there's, I don't know how much stuff there is upstairs. I haven't really followed the mail. Have you been following it?
Yeah. We got some orders, but it's not going to be overwhelming. So.
Okay. So today will be mostly. It'll be what? It'll be finishing the paydays things.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You look a bit tired. Are you okay?
Yeah. But that train ride was brutal.
The first one after Golden Week.
Oh my gosh.
What do you mean? Because it was
Just
more crowded than normal?
Unbelievably crowded. I don't know why, but I was on one foot at an angle for most of the ride.
Really?
They
Really?
just stuffed people into the train today. I don't know why. But
Well, I can guess what on any given weekday is going to be any number of people who are sort of off, day
Right.
off in the normal course of a weekday. But now on the Monday after a 10-day holiday, there's nobody going to be having a holiday
yeah,
today.
everyone's still good. Or everyone's going to be coming into work.
Every
so it was-
business will be all hands on deck,
it
of course.
was
Yeah.
crazy. And for some reason, they had the heater running.
Hey,
I can't fathom why that would be, but
does that train? Can you crack the windows on that train or not? Or-
I wish. Because it wasn't running really, really high, but there was definitely warm air coming out of the
Really?
ceiling.
Really? Did you tell that some maybe nobody even
I
knows?
couldn't even move.
No, but I mean, when you came out of the station, pass a bit
I
of feedback.
should
where
have, yeah.
No Japanese would ever say anything. They would just sort of, suffer in
Yeah,
silence.
suffer in silence.
Whatever, just.
There were people just like drenched in
Really?
sweat.
Really?
It was really
Yeah.
a hard train ride. Good morning. I made it. So what are you up to?
We just finished just a few moments ago, literally, when
Oh,
you
wow.
were sort of putting your key in the lock. I finished
Yeah.
the last piece of the wave here.
Oh, great.
They're calling it the microwave.
The mic.
It's like, we have the great wave and the microwave.
The microwave. Oh, that's great.
And the wave is done. What I've got to do left now, I've got to do the calligraphy and I've got to cut out the foam. But what I had said,
Oh, fun.
just as you showed up, I was
Yeah.
saying, let me take a break before I get to the calligraphy. And what I thought I would do is I'd show a sneak preview of what's happening on the next YouTube video.
Oh,
I
great.
spent a lot of time the last few nights. I couldn't get started downstairs because I have to work with Aoyama-san on this
Right.
construction. So I sort of quote, nothing to do.
Yeah.
Nothing to do. So I got some stuff ready for next video. And let me give it just a couple of minute preview here. I'll turn the light off because I don't think we need it here. Well, I don't know if you've seen much about these. What we're going to do, the next video, is I'm going to talk about some books, Japanese books.
Oh, fun.
And this is, we're supposed to be talking about woodblock printmaking, and of course, everybody's idea of woodblocks in Japan is, the ukiyo-e stuff, Utamoto prints or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But the bookmaking, literally bookmaking, was a huge part of the business in Japan. In fact, it was way bigger. Making books was way bigger than making like woodblock prints,
Individual.
the stuff we know, it's like the Utamoto prints or Hokusai prints or whatever. So what I'm going to do is I've got a bunch in my collection of Japanese books. I'm doing this upside down, so I'll show the camera. And I'm going to take a pair of books like this, which is one episode from a huge novel that took like 28 years, start to finish. I think it was 48 episodes, so, maybe 50,
Every
I can't
6
remember.
months,
But yeah, about every 6 months or so, I can't remember. And it went on for years and years and years and years and years. And they were published in pairs like this. And Japanese, it's jo-ge.
Oh, yes.
Up, down, which
Yeah,
means,
the first half,
like,
second
first half, second half. If there was 3, it was jo-chu-ge. Up, middle, lower. And this is, This is 21. This is episode 21 of that huge, long thing. And there's
Classic
so
20 kanji.
many stories to talk. Well, it's funny too. You mentioned kanji. The covers are done in classical kanji, but the target audience for these was the city people,
Okay.
not just educated men. I mean, it was only men who went to the Terrayoka who learned the Chinese kanji.
Right.
But these were written for a mass audience, so the actual body of the text inside is not written in kanji. It's written in a scripted hiragana type stuff. So what I'm going to do is I've started to put together some ideas to talk about many, many aspects of these things, how they were made, what the content is like, who did it, what they were like, what the audience is. I've started to put together talking points. And I think this is going to be perhaps a little bit of a long video, but I've learned, and people have told me,
We like the long ones.
so I'm just going to say, throw all those concerns overboard. I'm just going to make this video, starting it step by step by step. And because it's going to be more of a, the videos usually, I turn the camera on, hello, good evening, Woodblock, I'm David Bull, and I wrap it up in one take. And this will not be that kind of video.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about this, then cut the camera off, talk about this, cut the camera off, do a bunch of B-roll. It's sort of almost, it's looking like it might be a bit of a documentary. So,
Cool.
So I don't know, I'm going to make this thing over the next few days.
Nice.
And we'll see what happens.
People will be really happy about that.
Yeah, no, I'm not an expert on the actual content, and also, even though this is written in the script that women can read, and not just educated men, it's so stylized that it's difficult for any Japanese person now to read. So it's a struggle. So I can't sit here and talk.
That's why the majority of the page is images instead of writing.
Well, no, because it was. Well, no, it was both. It was a story, and it was an illustrated storybook. Okay, so maybe there was no movies back then. So this is the hard text analog version of a movie. Page by page by page, and a lot of it is talking heads standing talking, and then some of it is start swinging the swords, and away goes the action. So. And the content was a blend. It was kind of historical fiction in many ways, mixed with real fiction, and then with a ton of just supernatural. What happened there? And, all mixed in. It wasn't any attempt to be realistic.
Yeah.
There were some in a pornographic genre. The one I'm going to talk about won't be one of those. We'll speak in very generic terms about this, And my God, they're fun to look at and fun to play with. And I don't want to... Let's see, what can I use as an example here? For one thing that's really interesting, Japanese text, everybody knows it's top to bottom, right to left when it's written in a block of text. But when it's written like this, clearly the illustrations were done first. And then the poor author, the author and his calligraphy.
I gotta stuff my characters into empty
stuff your
spaces.
Characters in, and literally, and there's not a square centimeter of unused space anywhere here. And yet, well, how do you read it? What do? You start reading here. Do you go down this way? Do you go across this way? What do you do? And there's a kind of a unique key that shows. I'm looking at this upside down, so I can't really see myself how this works. Just let me find a good example that has a whole bunch of different jumps in it. Can't see. Okay, let's try using this one. And again, on the real video, we will be zoomed in like crazy. We'll do lots of close-ups. But for now, you can just see here. We start reading. It says continued from previous page, and you read down. So you start going across. Down you go. Down you go. Down you go. You run across. You run across the break, and then you get to a point here. And now it's where do I go? Which of these places do I go to? And again, we'll show this in real close-up. And they've carved a little funny, tiny symbol here. And again, we're without zooming in, it's difficult to show. And you look around the page, and there's another one. There it is. There's another one of the same symbol. And you keep reading until you get to the bottom. And there's a little joke. It says, head over to the right-hand side. So you head over here to the right-hand side to find the same mark. You read down, there's a funny little white and black symbol. It jumps to here. There's a little black and white one. It jumps to here. It jumps to here. And this one jumps up. Where am I? I'm upside down. Oh, there it is. Jumps up to here. It's just insane. It's a hugely fun puzzle. Of course, it's not a puzzle. It's just simply, guides as to where to read. The act of reading itself just becomes fun. Where am I? Where am I going? I'm lost. What's happening? Also, all the characters, just to make sure you understand who they are, they've got their name or one character from their name stuck on their kimono so that you can identify who's doing what to who,
Yeah.
And what we're going to talk about also is I'm going to take one of these apart because there's an interesting aspect to this. This is one spread with a left and a right, but actually the left side and right side were carved on different pieces of wood.
Oh, that's right.
And they were carved by different people and printed by different people at different times. And you can see maybe here, there's a bit darker black on that than there is on the left, because these were two different woodblock prints. You see if I can do it. I've got one here where the string is broken. I've got one here, the string is broken, so I can just take this apart. It doesn't matter. We'll be doing this in the video. We'll be actually taking it apart. Here you can see. This is one spread. It's pretty dark on the right and pretty light on the left because the printers here really weren't too careful about keeping the...
they weren't talking.
Whatever. And here, let me just open it up. And you can see, because they're bound at the gutter, here we are. Here's one... That's one wood block print on one block. And it's got the right-hand side of this page. And then I better zoom out a bit more. So, and then this thing here is, oh my God, this is thin paper. I can't even get it. Here we are. Here. This is one separate woodblock print, carved on its own woodblock. But these two are the actual spread that would appear in the finished book. Yeah. That's a very poor example I've shown you because the printers did screw up. They didn't get it at the same level. Yeah. But normally somebody reading the book like this, when you just open a book, You read it like this without knowing that that's one woodblock print and this is a separate woodblock print. You know? So. And there's tons and tons of fun stories to talk about. I mean, as I said, this thing might get a bit long because of how they were done, which came first, the text or words, who wrote this, what they're doing, you know, who these books were aimed at, how they were sold, how they were marketed, how they finished, what killed them in the end. There's a whole bunch of fun stories to talk about. And this is what the next video is going to be about. If you want to search on the net for a bit of information about these, the generic term for these is kusazoshi. Kusa, grass, kusazoshi. There was all different kinds of them published over the years. The genre evolved from a very simple format to a really sort of high-tech format. And what we're seeing here, this is the last gasp. This will be 1860s or so. And this was the end of it, because shortly after this, I think the first newspaper was published in Japan in 1871, and the literary magazines came up. And those newspapers and magazines, they took over the idea of serialization. Yeah. Because these were published as serial novels. And every page has continued. And you get to the last page of the thing, the last page of volume 2, and it says, of course, it says, to be continued. There. It's the last part, you know, the guy has jumped forward, he's pulled his sword out, ready, he raises it high over her head, he flipped the page, to be continued, you know. Yeah. So they were serial novels trying to draw people back in and back in and back in.
Like today's manga or other comics. Or
I mean, it's not just Japan, other cultures. I mean, Charles Dickens pioneered this idea of serial novels. I can say pioneered. This was happening in the 1830s. When was Charles Dickens writing his? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I can't say there was influence. Any culture would think of the same thing. So, you know, which came first, I don't know. There's probably Chinese examples earlier, hundreds of years earlier. Anyway, that will be the content of the next David's Choice video coming up real soon. Real soon. Whatever. I've basically put out my talking points. Next step is to take a ton of B-roll. And then last step, sit down in front of the camera and have a go at trying to put it all together. And that's going to happen over the next few days. So,
sure people really enjoyed that one.
So enough of that tease, let me get back to my work and you can look at the thread and see what's happening here. So.
The Jazz Prophet, so it says. I always kind of wondered if there was any historical precedent for the way things are done in manga, or if manga could be feasibly produced on woodblocks. I guess maybe if the old-time covers and printers were doing it, then
well, it wasn't manga. It was these were novels, serialized, illustrated novels. So how much of that overlaps with manga? Manga, the illustrations become 99% of it, I guess. Or, I don't know. What's the balance of illustrations to story?
This did, I think, have a lot more text compared to
these were
images
novels, clearly
novels. Manga. Dickens was the 1830s too, according to Aeromass.
So I'm not an academic researcher, so I can't tell you one. You know, I'm sure he didn't see the Japanese stuff. Yeah. I don't think it needed a cross pollination. This is just an idea that's there. I mean, once you have publishing, I think this is one way for it to happen. You know, so.
Good morning, Villur, Villur. Just found out about Japanese woodblock prints, you, and the YouTube videos a few days ago, and this is fascinating. I think the person must have just been watching your introduction for the next video. So another one's coming soon, whenever soon. But it sounds like you've got a few days you're planning to work on it. So
yeah, tonight and tomorrow I'm going to try. I won't be able to wrap it up tomorrow because there's so much B-roll I need to take. But,
but it's coming up.
The other part of this we're going to address is, we were chatting about this in the stream the other day, the myth-busting aspect of this, and I think that perhaps got a bit out of hand. But one of the myths about Japanese ukiyo-e is that the West discovered Japanese ukiyo-e because all those wonderful prints, the Utamoto prints and stuff like that, were used as wrapping paper, in the shipments of Japanese ceramics and stuff that went to France. And Van Gogh discovered Hiroshige through this wrapping paper and stuff like this. And the germ of the idea, well, you can see where it's going to go. Actually, I don't need to tell it. These things were published in the bajillions of copies. Yeah. They were read and passed around and thumbed and greased up to the point where the paper just became unreadable. And you can see where those two threads are going to tie together. So. It's been crazy, Cameron, in the last few days,
Really?
The last few days. I don't know if you followed one or whatever. I think it was Friday. I think it was our biggest day ever. I'm not sure. All accounting and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
There were days when we were full of parties and the shop was full of people and they're just laughing and fooling around and just having a great time. And people coming up the stairs and just could not get in the shop. They look through that window. I catch their eye. I'm standing over by the square and I just shrug my shoulders and just
come
try and gesture,
in,
come back in a few minutes
but...
or whatever and get in.
Wow. That's cool. Pillar says, haven't looked into it yet, but how should I go about ordering the Great Wave or the Heroes series, and what's general cost and total shipping to Europe? For the Heroes series, check out ukiyoheroes.com. That's run by the illustrator who's designed all of those characters. If someone can send us a link.
We have Heroes in the shop here, but for internet business, Heroes is all handled by Jed, the designer. And he ships all over the world, of course.
Yeah. And then the Great Wave is currently out of stock, but we do have a waiting list. So if you go to the Great Wave website, you can add your name to it.
It's mokuhankan.com/hokusai.
Okay.
I believe takes you to it. And there's an information page there. There's a waiting list page. And I can't count how many times the last few days people asked for it here in the shop. I cannot count.
mokuhankan.com/hokusai. Okay.
I believe is the entrance page to it.
Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, someone beat me to it. Thanks.
Was that the octopus page?
No, that one I think says octopus or something. We'll see.
I may have directed to the wrong page.
Oh, Great Wave. That's
it is.
correct.
Okay,
yep.
Good.
Surprise!
Did you open Safari there, or did you do that in Chrome?
This is in Chrome.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. What's the cost? All the prints have different costs, so just
so the Great
check
Wave
the
is 15,000. Yeah, it's about $150, $140 now.
Yeah.
The next batch of them should be here any day now from Yamamoto Design.
Yeah, it's coming soon. It's getting printed. The Real Lundic says they're having 20 seconds of lag. Is anyone else having that long lag? We don't have any problems being indicated here.
Any lag like that is nothing to do with us. We're upping it immediately to Twitch. And whatever lag you have is your own. We've had no problems. There's one day now in the past month where we've had problems. So.
Yeah.
It's been much, much, much better.
Okay. And there's the link for the Ukiyo Heroes, since you're asking about those as well.
And we also were talking the other day about the there's going to be a new waiting list for the rickshaw cart print. So far we're okay.
Yeah.
But it's clearly now it's selling faster than we can print them.
Because we just finished a batch with Suga-san and immediately started another batch.
They're gone. So I know they're gone. Kubota-san is bringing his batch today. In fact, he said he shipped it yesterday.
Oh wow.
But at the rate we're shipping them in the shop here now.
Yeah.
At the rate we can't keep up. So at the moment it's okay, but it looks like we will have to start a waiting list for it.
Yep.
And it's all because of that poster downstairs.
Yep.
I showed photographs the other day. I took some pictures downstairs, construction photographs.
Good. Good. The Real Lindex. I'm glad you aren't having that 20-second lag anymore. That's great. Dead Steve asks, Cameron, what do you think your role might look like in 5 years' time? Koringami just invoked the bot. Says, Cameron answers your emails and generally helps out around Mokuhankan. We don't have lots of that.
Okay,
There
actually,
you go.
can you answer it? Can you answer the question? What do you think? Actually,
What the heck?
in as much as it's possible to answer it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
Perhaps don't want you doing payroll 5 years from now.
yeah. Yep. And
Inside joke, people. Sorry about that.
let's see. I hope helping maybe organize with print. Although you do so much of it, but the printers and carvers and who's doing which projects, and trying to get that smooth to match what
Oh, but remember, so the
things.
speaking about your role,
orders
you
that
have to
come in.
speak
Yeah.
more. The goal here is to get rid of me. you
Yeah.
know, and it would not be in any
get rid of-
awful sarcastic sense, but
No.
the goal is to offload all of my jobs
Yeah.
at some point to different people here.
Yeah. So I think that would be
How many of those you
goal.
feel you want to do or can do or whatever, I don't
Yeah.
know. Or whatever new jobs that need to be created as we grow. No, I don't know if we talked about this on stream the other day, that on May the 1st, which is what, 5 days ago, 6
Yep.
days ago,
yes, yeah.
we hit, in terms of overall just sales volume, simply just counting the numbers, we hit half of last year's revenue on May the 1st this year.
Yeah.
Which means 12 months revenue last year came into us in 4 months this year. So that's
Or it was 6 months came in.
pardon me?
6 months came.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
came in
sorry.
at 4
Excuse me.
months.
So. Misspoke.
No, that's okay.
So at that growth rate, we, wow.
John Becker says Cameron will be scouting retail space for the Osaka branch, building on the success of the Kyoto store. It's pretty ambitious.
While I'm the leader here, that won't be happening because I do not like Kyoto, and basically Kyoto doesn't like me. And no, really, there's a real long backstory here. Kyoto is a different place,
Yeah.
And our whole method of operation is not Kyoto style, Kansai style. We're brash. We do modern stuff.
Yeah.
We don't honor the traditions all that carefully, as in, we should never change anything.
Yeah.
We're not pretentious.
Mm-hmm.
All these things that are part and parcel of bundled up in Kyoto culture, they are not what we're about. So certainly, it's not possible while I'm the leader here. We won't be involved in that kind of a culture. I tried once when I was doing the poet series. I tried once to do an exhibition down in Kansai in Kyoto because I thought it was kind of a good idea because that's the cultural center and all that stuff. I didn't understand it myself in those days. And I learned really quickly. I really, really learned quickly. I got my stuff up on the walls there, the little rental gallery. And the very first day, it's not many people coming yet because I hadn't got too much publicity, but not a couple of hours after we opened, there's these 3 ladies in kimono walked into the gallery there. I'm sitting in my chair at the side of the door. I nod to them, the way you do. I nod, the implicit come in and look around.
Yeah.
They nod back, no problem. They walk up to the first print on the wall, which was, one of the Hyakunishu poets, and they're look at it. One of them looks to the other. She pulls out the newspaper clipping that had brought them down there, Hyakunishu Japanese poetry exhibition, and one of them says, "Oh, it's hanga." And she has this grotesque face. "Oh, it's hanga. They're woodblock prints."
Yeah.
And they just turned and left and walked straight
What
out.
else would it have been?
They thought it was poetry. It was a poetry exhibition, but it was made by use of Japanese woodblock prints, Japanese Mokuhankan. And they turned and walked straight out, and this time didn't even look at me like, "Thank you, we're on our way out of here." Nothing. And I heard the word hanga with a dripping sarcasm on it.
Yeah.
This is Kyoto.
Wow.
So no thanks, it's not my town.
Yeah.
Am I on camera? I can't
Yep.
see it.
Yeah, you're right in the middle. Sorry, I'm just taking things,
These foams dots here, what I'm cutting out, of course, for those who don't know, when we do white on our Japanese prints, like pull out I have a great wave here. I pull out the wave. There's white foam on these prints, and anytime we see white on a Tokyo style print, not Kyoto style print, anytime we see white, we're looking at paper. So the block that prints that blue area has chunks cut out of it. That's okay, but what happens when we print is we put pigment on, we put paste on, we rub all over it. And if those little holes happen to fill up, then they turn out to be blue, not white. So for us as professionals, we can handle it. We carefully scrub out those little holes to make sure no pigment is getting inside them. But this is going in the party room. And people won't have a clue what to do. Dun, 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 dun. So. They're going to put pigment on this, put paste on this, and brush it really roughly without the delicate finishing brushing that we know how to do. Yeah. So this is another part of this print that I'm not sure will work or not. Yeah. So I'm going to carve these holes at the moment perhaps a little bit deeper than I normally do to try and avoid having pigment fill up in them. And then once we've done some testing out there, it may be that I'll have to, I don't know, gouge them out even more deeply or make them a bit wider. I'm not quite sure. Clearly, if they're going to be too small, they would easily fill up with paste and stuff. So we'll see. This is all very much an experiment at this point. Is this microwave going to actually work out successfully in the party room, or will it be a mess? I don't know. So we'll see. Only one way to find out. Try and prepare carefully and throw it out there and see what happens.
Ron Alden, I think is the name. A question about fine detail work. If you press too deeply into the wood but don't actually remove the chunk you've cut, will the cut alone show up in the print, or is it masked because it's not a full missing chunk? So if you just make a slice in the wood, would that show up in the print, or do you have to really remove a part that you can see? Yeah.
Yes and no. I mean, for example, out here, if this was going to be a part that stayed, if I just scratched it like this with my knife, what I've done is I've cut into it and it's raised a little lip there. I can feel this with my finger now. And if I tried to print this, if I took my brush and brushed against that thing, it would get a bit of pigment inside each one of those things. And it would show up as a sort of a scratch, slightly darker line. But only for 1 or 2 or 3 copies. Okay. By then the Baron is going to rub this and press it down flat, and it's going to be pretty much disappeared. If I did want a line, I would have to, however fine, I would have to slice out something like that. And there is now a piece of wood missing if I wanted a permanent line there. So. Got it. Okay. In case you're curious, this is an area that will be carved out later. I haven't spoiled my print yet.
Yeah. It'd be pretty sad. Just cut those across the waves.
The noise outside, I saw it earlier, it's a cherry picker. They were working on Rockdory outside earlier. Huh. They're checking all the wires. They're going through every telephone wire and power wire up top and tree branches. It's Sanji Matsuri.
Oh, okay.
And they want to make sure nobody's going to get electrocuted next week, riding the carts and stuff.
Yeah. Kotaklan, I'm sure I'm butchering pronunciation. Kotaklan. Is the wood treated in a way to work with the pigments?
Nope,
not at all.
Naked raw wood, nothing.
Yeah, just dried out for a long time.
I think modern people who are using softer wood, stuff like Sheena plywood and whatever, I've heard of some of those guys, they coat it with a light glue mixture or something first. In some cases, I don't know. Yeah. It's not my style. No, for us, it's the raw, natural chunk of cherry.
Got it. Nice. Says, okay, I'm just curious about rotting in the long term. Have you seen any rotten pieces of cherry?
The only way it would rot is if you,
get it
wet. No, it's get it wet and leave it wet or whatever, something. So, we use it and it dries. We just stack it at the side of the room and it dries out after we've used it. Yeah. We can wash it, If there's too much pigment left over, take it to the sink, wash it, scrub it, bring it back, let it dry out, bundle it up and throw it in the storehouse.
Yeah. You do have that one old piece of wood, not rotted, but bugs ate the side of it.
Well, that's right here.
Yeah. So it can have issues.
Well, old unused wood blocks, if they're thrown away and not cared for carefully, then of course, yes, they will decay. Sure, of course. Yeah. That was a piece of wood that never got used. It was just thrown in a wherever it was. It's charred. It had been burned, that one. Look at it. Do you see it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's charred on all the sides.
It was a temple text, so just thrown in a storehouse or a temple somewhere. There was an auction last night for 13 or 15 pieces of wood, good, nice pieces of wood.
Really?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to getting them, try recarving on it.
But what happened?
I fell asleep.
Oh, no.
I sat down on the tatami mats. I was working on a scripting for the next video. I checked the time. This is 10 o'clock. Auctions at 10:20, no problem. I woke up what's happening? It's 2:45. My neck is borked.
Oh, no.
Lying on the tatami and whatever.
Yeah. And someone was previously asking about repairs. You can see some of the repair work done here.
Well, you can see the leftover depth,
so there was something carved on here, but then you had it cleanly shaven off, right?
So I tried playing it off. They put plugs in to fix characters in the carving, and the plugs went deep enough that even after I planed the carving off, you can still see the plugs left over.
So, kind of fun. I think it's so interesting that the bugs only ate
the softwood,
the soft part on the outside. Kota clan. Thank you. 2 words. I was trying to figure out how to pronounce this because without spaces or any other punctuation, it's kind of hard to guess.
It's not Kodak, huh?
Yeah. Kotaklan. Kota clan. Thanks. This was playing so smoothly. It's almost shiny in the right light.
It's just a little planer upstairs, a little desktop DOB planer. Nothing to try. We haven't finished it ready for carving it. I probably won't be using it. It's a bit too soft.
What times do you usually stream? It's 3 a.m. for me right now. I'm staying up because I can't sleep. It's 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. every day except Tuesday, and all this is Tokyo time.
Japan, yes. Yeah. But they are archived, sure.
Yep. Yeah, so you can always watch the archived ones on Twitch, or they've also been archived on YouTube for more than 2 weeks back, we think. I haven't seen that lately, so I don't know if that's been keeping up, but yeah.
I think they're still doing it. I don't know.
Okay.
That's not something I follow every day.
Can't tell if there are dots to mark the foam, or is it freehand? Are there dots in there?
What Kaori-san did leave a few scribbles here and there, but mostly it's just freehander. I'm just,
I'll put one here, I'll put one there.
Yeah, exactly. We're not copying the original. As I said before, this is an adaptation of the original. We're not copying it dot for dot, line for line. We're just... And I'm going to do more dots. What I'm going to do is I've just put now where I would think the larger dots just might put into the space. And it will need smaller ones here and there. There's 2 stages. If this is successful with larger dots, I'll try cutting some smaller ones. But if these are already filling up, then I won't bother cutting any smaller ones.
Got it.
I don't know. So we're going to test this as we go. So I'm not going to cut too much here now before we have a chance to test this in the real world. So, in fact, I think I might just leave it. A couple more here now. Yeah, Kaori-san drew a few of them. There's a couple here you see.
Huh. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. But a new person, one I don't recognize, said, I used to live in Seoul, and the older generation loved the foreigners, while the younger generation really disliked us. Have you noticed anything like that living here? No?
What can I say? Nothing.
No, I've not had...
For the most part, Japanese people are very tolerant of the few foreigners who live in their midst.
Yeah.
There's very few episodes of prejudice. There is a thing here in Japan where some extreme right-wing Japanese are extremely prejudiced against people like the Koreans who live here. I can't say there's no prejudice in Japan, because of course absolutely there is.
Yeah.
And some of that's very extreme, a hardcore group of right-wingers who really, really dislike having foreigners here.
Yeah.
But it's extremely minimal. It's no part of general life for those of us who live here. But you can hunt up examples of hate speech, and they have rallies and stuff like this. And police carefully watch them. But in normal daily life, we have no problems at all.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Although you can hunt out problems if you want to find problems.
Yeah, if you want to go find them.
So, and if you're the kind of person that uses that new word, what do they call it? Microaggressions. It's not a word that I use. It's not something I think about myself. But if you're that kind of person who uses that kind of vocabulary, you can find lots of examples.
Yeah.
Lots of examples of things that might bother you in daily life. Because Japanese people are basically still homogenous society. And basically still foreigners are outsiders. And so they behave differently to us sometimes. And if you find that worthy of aggression, then so be it, you know. But for me, on a common sense, daily point of view, although I'm a minority here, I don't have any problems.
Yeah.
What's your feeling, Cameron? You've been here, what, 3-4 years now?
Yeah, just about 4 now. And I've had the same thing. There are not really any major or even really minor issues at all with feeling prejudiced against or sometimes I think from older people you'll get comments like, wow, you can use chopsticks, and like, yeah, I've been here a little while and I used to eat at Chinese takeout back home in the US, and chopsticks aren't some really difficult tool, but I think they're just trying to be friendly and complimentary.
It's the standard phrase to be friendly to a foreigner. So
it's not no ill will in there at all. Ohayou gozaimasu.
Hello, how you doing? Your paper is ready. I remember.
ありがとうございます。
She's never quite sure. She comes up the stairs. So, doki doki desu. Come on, I usually remember. It's okay. Once.
今日は大丈夫です。
今日は、はい、大丈夫です。
I don't know how long it takes. I've got to have a run of straight remembering all the time. If I maybe have 15 in a row or 20 in a row, she starts to relax. And then I forget once
one time, and then it's just all trust is thrown out the window.
It goes back to the beginning. You know? So, God. Dear, it was just a mistake. It didn't mean anything. Please trust me again. You know? So.
But yeah, so little things like that, or after a simple konnichiwa, they're like, wow, your Japanese is incredible. I'm like,
that's not an aggression.
No, it's a silly thing to me to I don't know, say that, but it's not
they're
aggressive.
Almost even
not
those are icebreakers, just the standard thing to say that doesn't so much have any meaning. It's just the standard packaged icebreaker.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
I have to go back a lot of years before I can think of an episode where I was annoyed because they treated me as a foreigner. You know, I mean, really far back.
Yeah.
I came in 80. Came here in 79 and 80 and 81 as visitors, but I came here to live in 86.
Okay.
And that was just after that was the beginning of the AIDS thing here. The AIDS scare happened here in Japan, where there was this thing happening overseas where there was this terrible disease that you could catch and die and nobody knew what was happening. You know, the really early days of the AIDS epidemic.
Yeah.
And the first part of it in Japan was, this is foreigners. It wasn't from Japan, it was overseas.
Yeah.
Which actually it was, of course, so whatever. So for a very short time there, for the space of a few months, there was almost a panic that foreigners, you could catch AIDS from foreigners.
Wow.
And it got squashed. The government really quickly, and the health services quickly put up posters and showed people, and no, you can't get AIDS from shaking hands with somebody who was born in another country. Yeah. But for a few months there was touch and go because the media panicked it. And you'd get cases like you'd go in go in a convenience store, put your stuff on the counter, hold out your money, and the girl wouldn't, she didn't want to touch it. She didn't want to take the money from your hand because she had, somehow got the idea that she's going to catch AIDS. So you have to slam the money on the counter. She'd pick through it with her fingers like this. So for just a few weeks and a few months, there was a sort of a period like that when there was a little bit of a scare going.
Yeah.
it died very quickly because, of course, common sense, education and knowledge and common sense soon put an end to that.
Yeah.
But that was a bad one for a while.
Yeah. I can imagine that being uncomfortable. Okay, people are asking, what does it say? The kanji you're carving now, someone already answered, Katsushika Hokusai, Great Wave, Namiura. And then someone said it should say the microwave.
Give me I should have thought that was coming, actually.
Yeah.
So. Is this another meme from Mokuhankan? We've got a refrigerator and a microwave. Is there a theme developing here? You notice
An appliance
we
filled
do have
refrigerator.
Come to Mokuhankan, your appliances, refrigerators and microwave. I shouldn't start that. I don't know. Is there a theme developing here?
Yeah. We'll need a toaster soon. Kantar has
over to you.
Okay. We're gonna toast. Let's see. Oh, people are saying, how and where did you study Japanese? And someone's guessing mostly through immersion. I think, yes, I studied at university before coming here. Dave did not. You've learned mostly just through immersion, just by living here, right?
There was I took one experience when I was living with that young Japanese girl. Before I ever thought that I'd ever move to Japan or whatever. It was impossible. But whatever, she was Japanese, so I thought the nice thing to do is learn more about it. And we live near UBC, University of British Columbia. And they have sort of different night stuff and night extension courses. So they had evening classes, which were a normal Japanese 101 for daytime students, but they did some of them in the evening. So you could sort of audit these courses as I forget what it was called, audit or whatever.
Yeah. So you're not turning in the homework, not getting credit, but you can still sit in and learn it?
Actually, no, I actually got credit. And this was funny because UBC is the university I went to back in 1969. I was grad 69 from high school. So I went to university the fall of 69 at UBC. I enrolled in the university. I didn't finish my first year. I didn't even make it to. I just went home, couldn't stand it. Whatever, long story. This is not the place for it. Didn't go back. Never answered mail from them, whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's 1969, 1970.
Yeah.
So we skip ahead to, this would be 1983, living with this girl. I saw this ad for extension things, UBC, whatever. So I go and sign up for it. And bingo, they type my name in and up comes
your records. And
she says, you didn't get credits, did you? And so I said, well, no, it's not. She says, well, okay, if you do this, you'll get 3 credits for your first year, towards your first year. So they did. I did that little Japanese 101 evening course and sort of got a basic P on it. And I now have 3 credits towards my bachelor's degree that I started in 1969. And it's probably still there, I'm not about to go and complete this, but I was still in their system. So even though I had dropped out, it wasn't anything that they had erased. Drop out just means, I guess, in the modern way, people stop and they go and they stop and they go and they stop and they go. I don't really know how it works. But I'm probably still registered as a student. I am still, as we speak, I am a university student at the University of British Columbia, probably.
That's funny.
But it was chaos. I didn't. I mean, there was no speaking. It was the thing. You all line up in desks in rows and get your pencil out and try and do the hiragana for, le plume de ma tante. No, not that one. Something else, whatever. But, I barely got through it. And the few days before the final was, what do you call it? You sit down with the teacher one-on-one. And he asks you to write a few things, and then he speaks to you a little bit in Japanese. It was a one-on-one with the teacher, kind of. What do they call it? An oral exam or something?
Oral exam.
Whatever. It was scheduled. My session was scheduled for Wednesday at 10 in the morning or something. Yeah. And my first daughter was born 2 days before that. Emergency birth. We were up for 48 hours. They nearly died, and I stagger into the oral. Oh my God. Staggering, unshaven, unshowered, everything. And I couldn't do anything. I just couldn't function. That's my excuse. I mean, anyway, I was a bad student on top of this. But being a bad student plus having this staggering life experience punched me in the gut. And, so I couldn't function at all. So there was no worry. The guy just gave me a P and said, just go home.
Just go.
I think he asked me, are you going to do the next level? And I said, no, we're done. So he just, out of his kindness, put me out of my mercy.
You passed.
Just gave me a P and that was it. So that's the extent of Dave's study of the Japanese language.
Yeah.
He has a P in whatever it's called, Japanese 101 at the University of British Columbia.
Yeah.
But in reality, he crapped out totally. So,
But you got 3 credits.
it was Soga Sensei. He had written the textbook, so we all had to buy his textbook and then chew through his textbook, page 1, page 2, page 3. And it was the driest, dirtiest, dustiest, magey level of stuff you've ever heard in your whole life.
Oh, man.
Soga Sensei. You probably look it up and see what it's called. I don't know. Introduction to Japanese or something.
Ohayou
Hey, you stole my shirt. What's this?
インストールそれ
私のシャツですか?
これ、あ、リクさんに似てる。
Say hello to the stream. It's over there this time.
Good morning. おはようございます。
Has this become a thing? He did the other, just so you know what's happening here. 3 or 4 days ago, Kawai-san bowed like this on the stream, and the stream is all going, what, so, And then yesterday we talked about it. Kawai-san said, relax, it's just a measure of respect, whatever, it's no big deal, don't get all excited about it. We have a 10 o'clock party to show Kawai-san today, so, but you got the paper ready last night, did you?
まあ、大丈夫です。今日の分は。
UBC, are you a Canadian expat? Yep. Someone's already said that and then said, hello from Toronto. Kota clan.
I lived there. I lived in Downsview in the mid-70s. I lived in Downsview for a couple of years. Not the most salubrious part of Tokyo, off of Toronto. But, used to jump on my bike and ride out to Barrie on the weekends. Do a century. I'm real cool. I can do a century on my bike. So.
Do a century.
There's 100 miles.
Oh, okay.
10 hours, 100 miles. It's called a century.
Huh.
Or at least I'm talking about back in those days, 1970s. Yeah. I'd start in Downsview and end up at Barrie and come back.
Kota clan is impressed that you went all the way to Barrie. How far? I don't know how far that is.
I think it's a century. Like I said, 100 miles. It's a century. That was the deal. Was it 100 miles or 100 kilometers? No, 100 miles. This is 1970s. And that was the deal. When you I wasn't a racer, but it was just, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the limit is 10 hours, 100 miles, which is not so bad. It means what? 10 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Steady with brakes and whatever. So you got to churn. You got to pedal.
Yep.
So. Okay, I'm not going to start cutting the calligraphy now. We're just within the stream, right? So we'll be all right.
Yep. Yeah, it's 9:25. Got a couple minutes, but if you want to wrap up,
let's just show this thing here.
Okay.
Now it's Monday,
Zoom
so
out
it's
a
the end
little
of our
bit.
week. Yeah, let me zoom out. So it's the end of our week. It's Monday, so we can remind people that there will be no stream tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow for me, it'll be a combination of working downstairs with Aoyama-san. We're going to try and put the floor in the party room. The ceiling is in now.
Cool.
We're going to try and put the floor in, but we have to get rid of that damn table, which he thinks it's going to be gone already. Like when Aoyama-san talked to you a week ago, we were talking about putting it up on Yahoo.
Yeah.
He's going to come in this morning expecting it to be gone. He's been off for 4 days, and it's still sitting there.
Yeah.
So.
Is it on Yahoo Auctions?
No, I've done nothing.
No.
I was
Okay.
sort of,
No. All right.
we've been a little bit busy the last
Yeah, I know.
few days.
I thought so, but I heard you talking about being on Yahoo Auctions yesterday.
No,
so I
Woody,
wasn't
as
sure.
a buyer,
Yeah.
So exactly. No, sorry. So. All right, so there we are. Then this is the microwave coming along. The next session Wednesday morning, it'll be either carving this calligraphy, or I'll be doing sizing, or I might even be printing a certain print that shall remain unnamed, which we are running out of stock of. I'll be doing one of those jobs. Yeah, don't touch it. It's funny. This is Baxter Ishikawa-san. She's doing the loot print for July, and she desperately wants to show her stuff, and she's going to do a batch of owls.
Really?
The paper's sized and ready. It's on her desk.
All right.
And she's all I'll show the rest of the kids around
Yeah.
here. I
can do
this.
it.
I can do this. And I'm said, great, please do. And I want nothing more than to have you be able to do this.
It'll be a hoot.
Please, let's get out of here. Okay. No stream
Someone said
tomorrow.
hoot first. I stole it.
So.
Sorry.
No stream tomorrow. Tuesday. I'll be back here on Wednesday. Perhaps on this bench, perhaps on another bench. I don't know where, but I'll see you then. Thanks everybody
Yep.
for coming in.
Thanks, everyone. All right, hot mic, and we are out of here.
Are we done? Thank you, Cameron.
Yep.